Hey everyone, welcome to the Wednesday live stream. Today I'm talking about 5 secrets to recording great vocals on your next project. Every singer wants great vocals on their projects, right? And so today's conversation really outlines my top tips for really how to prepare your voice to really get ahead of the curve, ahead of your recording, ensuring a great vocal. Hello, everybody. Hi, Amy. Hi, Garrison. Hi, Turdane. Hi, Linden. Pardon if I'm mispronouncing your handles. Luna Waves. Hello, everybody over on YouTube. Hello, everybody on Facebook. Every Wednesday, I go live at 12 p.m. Eastern, pretty much. And we talk about voice, we talk about technique, we talk about artist development, which is so important because artist development is really lost out there in the industry and artists are left on their own to do all of it. So these things are really important, right? Hey, Tina. Hey, Kimberly. Hey, guys. So, Anna is here also, Anatara. So this is the process. So throughout the year, I make quite a few records. So I have a small boutique record label that is more an artist services company for artists that really want their hand held through the process of making the record, and in the best of ways. Like they want a confidant, they want someone to help them actually make that record a record that is actually going to make that impact. And it starts with the vocal and then it starts with the songs. So that's why my company is Carrie Cole Voice and Music, because to me, voice and the music are the two elements that will define, how far your success, how far your reach will go and how far your success will go in the industry, because it all comes down to the voice and the songs. And then my label, CCVM, which is the acronym of that, is really designed for people that want to come and they want direction with their record, with their writing, with their vocals, with their process. We listen, we tweak, and then find the right producer for you. And then at the label, we manage the service, manage the project. So one of our artists, Signy from Iceland, has been here in New York, and we've been doing the vocals for her record. So her producer is in LA, and but it was less expensive to stay in New York because she has a place to stay here. And so I arranged for one of my producer friends who could sit in on the project, record the vocals. We brought up our arranger, Luis Armando from Dominican Republic. That was amazing. He's been working on the project since the beginning. We wrote these songs together over a couple years with my team of writers, following A&R direction. It's been an incredible project. But during the recording of the vocals, what I want to focus on today, and so in preparing her ahead of time, one of the most important things, and I do this with all of my singers, and the 5 secrets I'm going to go through today are how to build your vocal strength and stamina ahead of time, how to develop that consistent daily regimen of not just your technique, but also your practice and your routine leading up to, in the year ahead, in my opinion, and then also, if I can get started a year ahead, your voice is going to be leaps and bounds from where it is right at this moment. But if we have 6 months, we have 6 months. If we have 9 months, we have 9 months. If we have 3 months, we have 3 months. But the more that you get ahead of the curve, the more incredible your voice is going to be on the record using my methodology. So, and then I go through a process, which number 3 is demoing and rehearsing your songs well. I'll talk about that in a minute. I don't want the first time you record these songs to be on your final vocals, and there's a reason why. And then prepare vocal arrangements, and then find a seasoned vocal producer or vocal arranger, or because not all producers are vocal producers, and that can really cause a problem. Like we flew up our vocal arranger, and then I'm recording the final elements here at my studio. We're recording the final BVs, the doubles, and then we're doing ad libs here. And then we'll fly all of those waves over to the producer in LA. So we've tracked a lot because this is kind of an R&B pop sounding record. And so we wanted a lot of stack vocals. So anyway, let me dive in and then I'll open it up for your questions. So here's exactly what we did. So We started preparing quite a bit before because she's been working with me for several years. So she's been doing the cold vocal method. She's been working on the master. She's been working on the Peter Gunn. She's working on the one pitch. She's been working on all these things to build her stamina and her flexibility and really build the overtone series. So she's been working on that. We started to double down on it a bit more, maybe 4 months ahead, and put her on a really strict regimen of the masters. And then as we got closer, then we started working a little bit more on just flexibility maintenance, cool downs, warm ups, and things like that. So preparing for the studio as much as 6 to 9 or 12 months ahead will significantly improve your vocals on your recording. If you're not training in technique and you're professionally singing, you need to train, because training is the only way. With a method like this that's biomechanical, it won't change your style, but it will make you a much stronger singer. Like training with the right athletic coach will make you a much stronger athlete, right? So it's important to realize that your recording will go down forever, and you want to be in your best vocal shape to record as possible. So you'll need stamina and endurance, and you'll need to be able to sing for 5-ish or more hours without losing your voice. So most vocal sessions are about 5 to 6 hours per song, and the lead vocal takes from 3 to 4 hours to record well. Following the lead vocals at the same session, we then record for another 2 hours to track lead doubles and background vocals, for really a total of 6 to 7 hours per song in ad libs. So it depends, per song, and it depends how skilled you are at recording. I don't use auto-tune during the recording process at all because I want to get real vocals. And it starts with vocal technique to really build that stamina and endurance. So the list of preparation, you'll see it over on the blog. As always, the live stream is the blog of the week, and the topic is over there, all outlined for you. So if you really want to learn more and have it all written out in front of you, go over to the blog and print that out or bookmark that. Also, all the live streams are recorded live on YouTube. So if you join late, you can go and watch there. So the daily vocal technique regimen using the cold vocal method that I teach inside the Vocal Freedom Circle is 40 minutes a day, 5 days a week, to build the tone, range, strength, and endurance. So I said 40 minutes a day because usually in my technique, I say 20 minutes a day. Well, 20 minutes a day is good for as a minimum for you to feel a difference in your technical instrument, in your ability. But when we're getting ready for a record, we want to do 40 to 45 minutes a day because we really want to more aggressively build the tone and the range and the strength and the endurance. And then we also want to work on number 2 is develop a solid, consistent rehearsal routine for endurance. So rehearsing your songs to develop your endurance. Singing in the studio can involve, as I said, long sessions, right? Performing at the top of your performance level, right? So as I said, a lead vocal will take 3 to 4, maybe even 5 hours to complete a really good comp. And you don't want to be wearing out. So you build your endurance by doing your technique 40 minutes a day, 5 days a week, and you rehearse your songs 3 to 5 times a week. So if you're recording an album, then sing through the entire album list, if it's 10 songs, for an hour a day, 5 days a week. If you're recording a single or two, sing through the couple songs 2 or 3 times a day. Really work on your singing for an hour a day, just singing the material, the songs, not your technique. That's on top of technique. So that's the ideal schedule because you want to build up that stamina. So as you get closer to the actual day of recording, which will change the regimen slightly, but as you get closer, you're really experiencing that strength in your voice. And not only just strength and endurance, but the tone improves and the range improves. And all of these things that are part of the technical instrument are improving. Your belt improves, everything. And then number 3 is to demo your songs well in preparation for actual recordings. So this is something that I do with all of my artists, and I did it myself when I recorded my album, which is when I really started getting hip to it. Because one of the issues, especially with new songs, like when you're recording that song, generally you haven't been out performing that song. Your voice doesn't really know that song like ridiculously well. You haven't been singing it for years. It's a new song. So one of the methods that I use is to have the singer demo the songs really well. If you do vocal comping in your own studio, you can, really comp the vocal as if it was a final lead vocal, go through all the steps, right? Record 5 to 6 takes, start making a comp, punch in the things you didn't get. And in the process of that, really, which is number 4, is to really build the vocal arrangements. So vocal arrangements is the process of deciding how the song will be sung, making choices about melody, harmony, rhythm, dynamics, texture of vocals to really enhance the song's impact and emotional depth. All big records generally have vocal arrangers on them. I'm a vocal arranger. I've arranged a lot of vocals for records. I actually have a male vocal arranger as well at my company, who's very, very detailed. And then I usually come in and work on the big money notes and that kind of thing. And, vocal arranging can also include, how you're using straight tone or vibrato or breathiness, or determining how you're going to end the phrase. Is it a riff? Are you holding it out? Where are the peak emotional moments? Like in every song, there's probably 2 or 3 very peak moments. And how do you want to handle that? Do you want to hold the note and then the music drops out? Like there's all kinds of techniques for how to really create incredible dynamics. If you've never worked with a vocal arranger, do that. Come and do a vocal arranging session with me. You can get, you bring a song and we spend a whole hour and we do a full vocal arrangement. And then you can use that vocal arrangement for your other songs. I had one artist come and we had a 2-hour session with her producer and here in New York, and we did the vocal arranging for a couple of songs on her record. He was sitting here, so he was picking up every single thing I was doing, and then they were able to go back, re-record all. They decided to re-record because the changes were so significant. They decided to re-record the vocals because they hadn't put it out yet, and the things that she was doing on one song, she was doing on all the others. And then I taught them how to really build the arrangement, which is how you increase the dynamic as you move through the song and where you pull out those money notes and those big notes, because most singers are really leaving a lot on the table, to be honest. And part of it is like in particular, when you are working on a cover, right, you want to make it your own. And so you're more aware of vocal arranging, I think, there. But with our own original songs, as a songwriter, you fight to really build that work that melody, but then you have to take off your songwriter hat and you have to put on your singer hat and then bring the vocal arrangement, to that song, or you're leaving things on the table, right? So vocal arranging is really crucial for creating a powerful, memorable vocal performance. Very often, vocal arrangers, professional vocal arrangers, end up getting songwriting credit. I don't do that when I do a vocal arranging session, unless I feel like there's something that's really going to make a difference, and then you can decide. They get songwriting credit because, especially in the chorus, because they're bringing that song to life in a way, and often rewriting melody, but just tweaking things, right? But it's worth it because it is at the end of the day, and it's a very small percentage, right? But I don't ask for that in a standard vocal arranging session. If I felt there was something there, I would discuss that with you, because I'm going to show you how to do it, right? But when I'm working with artists at my label, I already have songwriting credit within those songs because I'm writing them with them. So I don't have to, there's no worry about that. But it very often absolutely makes the song. And, you should try it. I have my tips over on the blog for specific things to look for initially. So I would read through that if you're interested in it. And then I want to just circle back for a second to the demoing, which is number 3, and number 4 is vocal arrangements. So the demoing, you don't want, I just want to really make this point. You don't want the first time you record your final vocal takes to be in the studio and recording that final vocal. It's way better to record ahead of time and get the notes etched into your voice before the final vocals. So with Signy, we did that. She demoed in Iceland quite a while before, and then the producer, when he was building the tracks, he had great vocals to produce to. That's another benefit of it, because so often we're building tracks virtually. Um, or even in person, doesn't matter. You'd have to go in and sing them anyway. And, so that demo process is really important, because then you start working out how you're going to sing the song. You're working out the arrangement as you're demoing. And then, there's usually quite a bit of time between the demos and the actual recording of the final vocal. So you have all that time that you're listening to the correct, and we will go in and I tweak with autotune if we need to on a few notes, but then you're listening to the correct arrangements, really powerful arrangements. And so when Sydney came to do her final vocals, I mean, the vocals were elevated times 10, because she was so familiar with, she was comfortable with the songs and had been working on them for quite a while. So you don't lose anything, you actually gain. Okay. The process really prepares your voice to know the songs really well and to execute the notes and phrasings better on your actual final day. And if you haven't done that process once, do it. I can't imagine that you wouldn't do it again, because your vocals are that much better when you do that process. And then number 5 is find a seasoned vocal producer, vocal arranger. Sometimes, not every singer is great at vocal interpretation, or arrangement. Like, you learn the song and then you can't really think of how to change it. So vocal arrangers come in, and the goal of it is not to make you sound all overproduced and everything. The goal is to bring out the emotion in the song, is to, where are we highlighting? How does that singer like to sing? How do they like to move? Like, for instance, we're in the middle of doing some doubles on one of the songs on Signy's record. There's a chorus that she's singing in head voice, and she wants that breathy kind of sound. So I asked her a couple days ago, she's coming tomorrow for her final sessions with me. And I asked her, can you practice singing that chorus? We already have the lead vocal done. We already have some doubles done, but now I want a double that has a little more body, because sometimes the head voice doesn't have enough anchoring or groundedness in it. And I asked her to sing part in chest voice and part in head voice, like to mix it, because I want like a couple doubles in the background that will anchor that head voice approach to the chorus. So there's all kinds of techniques. The thing to know is, when you're working with a producer, not any producer is a good vocal producer. Some producers are musicians that ended up being producers, and they don't know how to speak the vocalist's language. And that's really critical when you're in the studio, because a producer might say something like, well, just let go more. I remember someone said that to me early on. It's cracking me up personally. It's a little joke for myself here, but a producer said that to me once, and inside my head, I was thinking, hold on to what? I'm not holding on to anything like tangibly, because it's just so not a direction that is helpful for the singer. A helpful direction would be lean into that word, feel the downbeats more with more emphasis. Like, that'll bring more emotion out. Like, the singer needs actual specific direction that is more tactical and specific. And an experienced vocal arranger will have that. And then they're also working out all the notes ahead of time to really build this incredible, like, to bring out so much more of the emotion and so much more of your actual voice. Okay, so let's go to questions. So please post your questions in the comments. Let me pull up Facebook. I don't have that open at the moment, but I have YouTube and Instagram open. Let's see if anybody's over there chatting. Okay, so I see a question on Instagram. Zane is asking, how long do you recommend preparing for a final recording, for instance, between demo and the final recording? I mean, I would put probably 3 months. Like usually my process at my label services company, here's what we do. We So when we write the songs, we always recommend writing 2 to 3 times what you need. We demo all of the songs, and then you have a back catalog that you can use as part of a collection, which is really cool. But we demo all of the songs then, and then we put them in a spreadsheet and we vote on them. So we vote on the most favorites. So that's a good 9 months before, to a year even before you're going to be doing your final vocals, because you're just choosing the songs. So that's normally when we do them. So whenever you write a song and you finish a song, go and demo it and work out the vocal arrangement for that, so that you're doing that along the way. Like we had an artist come and write 33 songs with our team over 14 months. And she wasn't demoing as she was going. I learned that then. And then we were getting ready for the producer. We found the most amazing producer for her project. And she had to go back and demo all of those songs in like a rush. Right. And again, those demos are what your producer is going to build the songs on, the productions on. So in my opinion, I'm not a fan of the Nashville work tape where you just throw the vocal down. I'm like, hell no. Like, I don't want anyone listening to sloppy vocals or not really thought out vocals. And I don't want to be listening to that demo myself over this time. Like, I want to really work on it ahead of time. So that's our process. So we do it like 6 to 9 months ahead, but at a minimum, I would say 3 months just to prepare the song into your voice. Let's see, any other questions over here? It's a serious process because your vocal is going down forever. And so, you really want to, when you think about it, like when you see artists performing tours, usually the shows are better near the end of the tour, midway to the end of the tour than at the beginning of the tour. The new songs in particular, not the songs that are from prior records, but the new songs are better because once you play them, they take on a life of their own. So with these songs that you're writing, generally you haven't performed them, you haven't really worked them into your voice. So that demo process is the key to really, and spend time on it. Don't just throw your vocals down. Like, make a comp as if you are making a record. That good. Like, get good at vocal comping in your home studio. Everyone should have a home studio, have the Apollo Twin or the Apollo X4 interface, have a Shure SM7B. And the Apollo comes with Luna software, so you don't even have to purchase, and it works beautifully with it. That's what most musicians are using today. And the Apollo is out of this world. The plugins are out of this world. The Neves, the Avalon 737 is in there. It's incredible. And the Luna software. I mean, I started with Pro Tools like 20 years ago. I've always been Pro Tools, and then I use Logic a little bit, but I'm really more Pro Tools. But Luna is the best software in terms of vocal comping, and it's very intuitive, and it hooks, it works. It's brilliant. It's done very well. Universal Audio has killed it. Okay, Stuart's asking, my voice gets stuck in my throat or the feeling when singing high notes and makes it hard to connect to my head voice. Do you have any suggestions? Yeah, so generally speaking, are you a baritone or a baritone tenor, second tenor? Or baritone. Generally, when your voice gets stuck in your throat, or the feeling of when singing high notes, it means that you're overusing the throat muscles. So when you train in technique, you learn to use the body more correctly to support the voice, to anchor the voice. You take the pressure off the throat. because the more pressure you have at the throat, and until we're trained, we tend to use these muscles, right? And when you're singing higher, there's more pressure, right? Because there's more air velocity hitting the vocal folds. So you really need to train. I would train with my Cole vocal method. It's my opinion, the best method out there. It's based on 40 years of vocal science. It's the most thorough method that I've ever found. So I would recommend that, Stuart, because you need to learn how to use your instrument. But just try for now. Just try raising your chest a little bit to get the voice out of the throat, because the pectorals and the chest will help to anchor the voice, take the pressure off the throat a little bit. And then don't lift your chin up. Like, keep your chin level and even tip it down on the high notes to open up the back and create more space. I see some questions over on YouTube. Would you recommend a warm-up? What kind of warm-up would you recommend after the 5-6 hours vocal rest? What do you mean 5-6 hours vocal rest? What do you mean by that? I don't know what you mean by that. Would you recommend to help prevent voice cracking? Technique and learning how to use the instrument correctly, and keeping the chest lifted and keeping the chin level, but really practicing actual vocal technique to strengthen the core instrument and to decrease the increase in pressure that you're feeling at the vocal folds. During my last recording sessions, my voice got tired. I did the masters for about a month and then one of Singer's Gift. Any changes to make that as I'm heading back in the studio in July? Yeah, Tina, you really want to do the masters ongoing, not just like a month is not quite enough. Like, you should be doing masters 5 days a week as a professional singer, 5 days a week for a minimum of 20 minutes a day. And then you can add something else. And then the week before, do the Singer's Gift. But you should always be doing masters because you want to continue to build. So I wouldn't wait. I wouldn't just do them for a month before. I would do them right now, because you're going into the studio in July. So you've got May, June, and part of July. You've got 2.5 months. And that way, the masters you really want to do for a period of 5 to 8 years. Like 5 days a week, 20 minutes a day, 40 minutes a day, really, in my opinion, but 20 minutes as a minimum. If you make that 20-minute minimum, it's easier to get it done. And then if you have extra time, you have extra time. But the warm-up I would use, Okama-san, I'm going to butcher your name, I'm sorry, would be the Singer's Gift warm-up. Yeah, the Singer's Gift warm-ups. You'll find it on my website and all over my pages. Look in my link tree, or just Carrie Cole Singer's Gift. It'll pop right up. But that is one of the best warm-ups on the market, because we also include pulling the larynx down, lifting the soft palate. We include massage techniques and micro stretching techniques that actually open up the voice for singing. Jesse's saying, can you say the names of the recording equipment you mentioned? Yes. So for your microphone, I'll put it over here on YouTube. The Shure SM7B is just a great mic that's, probably $300 or $400. It's state of the art. You'll see everybody using it. If you have more money to get a more extensive, a nicer mic, then fine. But this this will do the trick. And then for the interface, it's the Universal Audio Apollo, and the Apollo has 2 versions. It has the Twin or the 4X, and the only difference in it is the Twin has 2 inputs and the X4 has 4 inputs. So I can put 2 microphones in a stereo piano, or 2 microphones and 2 guitars, or a guitar and a bass, or whatever, at the same time, right? So I have my piano stereo hooked up. I have my recording mic, and then I have, when someone's here, I have my second mic so I can have audio talk back. So the Shure SM7B and the Apollo, Universal Audio Apollo, which is amazing, and the Apollo comes with Luna. That is a setup right there. Now, it's not inexpensive. The Apollo is around $800, but you're getting free recording software with it. Their plugins are amazing. You have to buy the plugins, but you can trial the plugins, for I think a couple weeks. So you can, but oh my God, it's just an incredible, it's state of the art. It's the best It's the best technique, or the best recording tools, products to be working with. Can't think today. Okay, what are words? Anybody else? Any questions? The other thing, Tina, if you're still here, I wanted to mention, you might not be rehearsing your songs. So at the beginning, I don't know when you popped on, but at the beginning of the live stream, I talked about 40 minutes of technique 5 days a week. In preparation, I like to start a year ahead, to be honest. And again, I work on record projects, so we have that kind of time. We plan ahead. But whatever you got, and then an hour, at least an hour of singing your songs to build the strength. And that I'll probably do like 4 to 6 months ahead. And then in the couple weeks prior, I'll stop that. In the week prior, I'll stop the masters. But a couple week prior, I will stop the, rehearsing of the songs, because you want to build your stamina, right? So that's what I recommend. Is there a big difference between male and female exercise? I did your course a few years back and mainly do the cool downs. No, just the octave that you're singing from. Oh, that's great. Mainly do cool downs. Yeah, Zane, start doing the masters. You really need the masters. We have a newer version if you're interested in that. We have the newest version. I'm actually in my vocal mastery program, which is a year-long program. It starts every October. If you're really interested in taking your voice to the next level, that's the program to do. You do the Vocal Freedom Circle first, which is an 8-week self-study online. And it comes with a monthly live Zoom call, private Zoom call with myself and the community, where you can ask me questions. And then the Vocal Mastery Program. So the order is the Vocal Freedom Circle, where you get the Singer's Gift, the Vocal Rescue Kit, the Masters, and the Fundamentals. And that's the core of the Cold Vocal Method technique. And then you get the live call with me every month, ongoing. And then join the Vocal Mastery Program in October. Vocal Mastery is level 2 of the Cold Vocal Method, a whole nother level. It's another 140 exercises very specifically on now that we have the foundation, we're going to go to the next level here of really going into the curriculum. So this curriculum is pretty deep and broad. For instance, in VMP in level 2, I'm just pulling up the exercises. We start with the vocal path, support work, and conditioning. We have a full conditioning exercise, a release series, a breath breakthrough series. Then we go into building tone. We work on the aspirates, then the core vocal strengtheners, the Ha scales, then the tongue tamer series, then the C placement series. Then we do root and resistance builders to actually build deeper strength. So Tina, Vocal Mastery Program would be next for you to go to the next level. And then we do the vibrato and straight tone series. We do the building the passaggio series. We do the bridge builders. We're on that right now because we're in month 8 from Vocal Mastery Program. And then we're doing belt builders month 9. Month 10, we do the onset and outro sequences. Then we do the volume and velocity sequences. Then we do the Manuel Garcia's and get deeper into that. Yes, I am doing SSC this year. It starts at the end of July. You'll find everything now on the events page. So everything that's coming up is on the event page. So if you just go to carriecole.com, I'll put it in over here on YouTube. Events, you'll see all the start dates. They're all announced there. And wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Anyone interested in really taking their voice to an unbelievable next level, you can go to my website and click on Cold Vocal Method, and it will tell you all about the method. Yeah, we're excited about SSC, and we have, it looks like my link didn't post. We have for the VIP seats, we have some wonderful new songwriters that are joining us. So we're excited about that. So you have a regular featured seat where you go through and you write with us, and we do A&R. And then we didn't do it last year, but we're doing it this year. And then the VIP seat gets to write with our pro songwriters. in a very custom curated experience of A&R and song sound and direction. It's really about finding your artist identity and sound and direction within your songs. Well, thanks again for joining me, and I will see you next week at 12 p.m. Eastern. Have a wildly creative week. Believe in yourself. Never don't believe in what you're doing. Always believe in what you're doing with all of your heart. And I'll see you next week. Bye, guys.